to talk about another shooting that just happened 2 weeks ago. On Saturday, October 5th, gunfire once again broke the peace of our city streets. Ironically, my niece, who survived that deadly shooting on East Water Street, found herself again running from gunfire. Over the last several months, it's been a slow process for her recovery and being able to get out in public again and feel safe and confident to do so. So that Saturday, she and her friend was walking the floodwall, one of the beautiful amenities we have here in Chillicothe. And she got tired and wanted to go visit her aunt that lived over on Mulberry Street. When they turned on the Mulberry Street, they happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, when two gunmen opened fire at a house. For a second time in my niece's life, she had to run from gunfire in our city. She ran down to the city park, hid behind some trees, called my wife, let her know where she was at, called the police to let them know what had just happened. But she wasn't the only one that was traumatized by this event, this most recent shooting. My nephew lived next door to the home that got hit by the gunfire. He can tell you today the image that he saw looking out his bedroom window. He made eye contact with one of the gunmen as bullets was being volleyed into his neighbor's home. It's trauma like this that keeps coming up over and over and over again in our community. And nothing's changing. So I ask all of you, how much more? How many more people, how many more families have to be scarred and traumatized by senseless violence in our community? Those of you who've lived here most of your life, you remember where we used to be able to walk down the streets, leave our doors open at nighttime, not worried that somebody was going to drive down the street, roll down the window, and open fire. It didn't used to be like this. So I'm asking all of you, once again, the same as I did in January, will you commit to addressing this crisis in our town? And I call it a crisis because it's not getting better. It's not getting better. We're still having shooting after shooting. That's why this time I'm not standing here as an angry parent who witnessed firsthand the effects of gun violence. I've went and partnered with Brady, the National Gun Violence Prevention Organization, and brought a chapter here to Chillicothe to help work with each one of you in any organization that wants to tackle this crisis. I'm hoping that this time around, folks will stand up and say, I want our streets to be safe again. And this is not a political issue. I know we're in the heart of election season. This is not a political issue. This is a health and safety issue in our community. Gun violence is robbing our children, our communities of their peace, their innocence, and in some cases their future. And it's time for this body to act. Not with empty words, not with thoughts and prayers, not with empty promises, but decisive, meaningful action. I'm glad I came in hearing a little bit about the budget and stuff. We need more police officers on our streets. We need to give them all the resources necessary to combat the flow of illegal guns. The people that did the shooting, the suspects, was a 20-year-old and a 15-year-old. Why should a 15-year-old have a gun on him and walk in the streets of Chillicothe and then open fire? We have a problem here, and so often we sweep it under the rug until it becomes too big. Have we all forgot that not long ago we had a gunman go to the back door of our police department and open fire on one of our local heroes? How many more kids? How many more people before this body stands up? There's things we can do. We can increase mental health services for our youth, implement programs across the board, de-escalation, crisis management in our schools. There's grant funding for gun lockboxes that we can pass out and distribute to those who need those. So somebody don't break in and steal a gun out of a car. I read that police report just last week. It makes me wonder, will that gun be used in another shooting in the near future? Columbus passes out lockboxes free to those who want them. just a little piece of the puzzle to help address this issue. So I'm asking all of you once again, what will it take? Will it take more violence? Will it take more trauma? Only you in this honorable body can answer that question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Safety Service Chair, like you said earlier, we talked about adding more personnel to the fire department. We also talked, because we haven't had the police chief here yet, but we also want to add more to the police department. And I myself have been pushing for that. And I know we have retired police officer, retired state patrol, and I know that they know the importance of that as well. To not only, right now they're just going from call to call a lot of the time. They don't have the time to be proactive. We need more police on the street. You brought up some other good ideas too that we can talk about as well, with the gun lock boxes, things like that. So maybe, hopefully those things will help us. I think the big thing that we can do right now is make sure that we're better staffed than what we are and keep moving to make us a more safer community over the years. So I appreciate what you're saying. I think we're going to start moving in the right direction. Hopefully we'll see the results of that in the coming time. I mean, it will take time for that to happen though.
I can also speak on behalf of the school and Mrs. Payne as well, that we have increased our mental health services in the schools. We've increased, we have lots of social workers and mental health professionals that are working with our students now.
It's unbelievable that we have a world where we have to talk to kids about gun violence.
Right. And we do that quite often. So just so you rest assured about that, okay?
Any other comments? I would invite you on some of those ideas that you have to go ahead and forward them either to me or to Mr. Creed or anybody else on council, so that there are some concrete ideas that can be addressed and taken a look at. So we appreciate your time. Thank you.